So we're packed in like sardines. That's the back window. We got stuff on top that may or may not fall off. And we're gonna do
yay! Pretty! We are making it there before 3 p.m. Almost there! Yay!
We went ahead and set up our camp first thing when we got there. This is site 32. Really enjoyed this campsite. You can see it marked there in the middle. Some other campsites to mention would be 12 and 13. They're up on the upper right hand corner. They're going to be closest to Ginnie Spring. That is what that kidney bean is supposed to be. Site 88, we loved that in the past. Eli and I found it to be quieter, especially in June when it is really popping up in Ginnie Springs. Lower left-hand corner, if you're into horses and sunset, there's a great field that sits outside of those campsites where you can watch the horses, watch the sunset. It's really beautiful. This is a zoomed out version of the map, so you can kind of see where the springs are situated around the campsites, and also it butts right up to Gilchrist Blue Springs State Park.
We made it!
Oh my gosh.
So let's go ahead and take a walk on those trails and the backside of our campsite. So close to the springs. We had pre-made some chili and put it in the cooler, so making dinner was really quick that night. After that, we just kind of hung out, talked about the next day. We knew that for breakfast we were going to be having yogurt and blueberries with some granola. We knew we wanted to get up pretty early, that way we could go ahead and lock down our paddleboard rentals, and so that's what we did. Here's a little visitor that stopped by last night, and off we were. This was super unexpected. When we got up to Gilchrist Blue Springs State Park, we ended up seeing a couple manatees while we were paddling past, so that was a really cool treat. Even if you don't get to see any manatees though, tons of turtle, even turkeys. I wasn't expecting that for some reason. After we finish paddleboarding, we head back to the springs to do a little bit of snorkeling. Here's Devil's Eye. If you get up and do your snorkeling first, the water is definitely going to be a lot clearer before everybody else wakes up and starts kicking up debris. Here's Devil's Ear. I'm so sorry it's so shaky. I was just enjoying being alive at this point. I was very unconcerned about holding the camera upright. Got some chicken tacos for dinner. I'm going to be quiet so you can get the ASMR of that sizzle.
Everybody say hi to the camera. Making some dinner. Alright everybody, let me see your tacos. Oh, John's tacos are gone. I like it.
The next morning we woke up pretty early. We had an 1.5-hour drive down to Crystal River to dive with manatees. Wow, Fun to Dive did an amazing job. It was well worth the $60, and it's actually one of the cheaper options. Bree was our guide. She was awesome. Jason was our captain. I really can't say enough good things. Jason got us out there on the water really quickly in the mornings. We were one of the only groups starting out, and that's when we saw the most manatees, was in that first 15 minutes. I would say don't pay for those private dives personally. Once you get out there, there's so many different tour groups. They're all going to be out on the water. Even if you arrive in a boat with no one else, it's not going to feel like a private tour. Any recommendations you've heard saying to get there and do the earliest tour possible are correct. Just to recap, Fun to Dive does provide your snorkel, your wetsuit, and a cup of hot cocoa, which is very welcomed after a February swim. Afterwards, we head over to Homosassa State Wildlife Park to see Lou, who is a resident of the state of Florida and who has a driver's license. Hi, Lou. In case you hadn't noticed, Leslie loves hippos. After that, we did the hour-long drive over to Cedar Key. Cedar Key was awesome. They've got a public beach. It has a bathroom, a place to kind of shower off after being in the sand. After that, we went to Steamers. This is the view from our table at Steamers. We had some alligator bites, really terrific food, and of course we stayed for the sunset here. We drove back, got back to camp, and enjoyed a very nice and quiet Monday night under the stars at Ginnie Springs. It was so quiet, in fact, that we heard some rustling behind our campsite and learned that armadillos do in fact live in Florida. We thought it was a raccoon that we went over to scare away. Instead, we saw what we then thought was a rat tail of a huge rat. So pretty relieved to find out that armadillos live in Florida. At the lower right hand corner is one that we saw Tuesday morning right before we left. There are those horses we were talking about, also the tannin line between the spring and the Santa Fe there. Finally, what we packed. Thought you might enjoy our full packing list. Will say you may want to add some suit slip to your list if you've never worn a wetsuit before. Personally, I would liken it to putting wet jeans onto an angry alligator. I definitely find myself out of breath after doing that. Suit slip's only a few bucks and well worth the purchase in my book.